And that brings us to this week's Ask Us segment, where we take your questions on the pandemic to experts who can help us make sense of these difficult times. Fears about the economy have fueled an incredible response across our website and our various social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. For the record, Facebook is a funder of the NewsHour. Amna Nawaz has more.
Thanks, Judy, and thanks to all of you for sending us your questions. As we've been reporting, the economic fallout from the pandemic has been unprecedented. So this week, we're focusing on all your concerns about your money and your jobs. To answer those questions, we are joined by Michelle Singletary, the Washington Post personal finance columnist. Michelle, welcome back to the NewsHour. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
It will surprise you not at all to learn people have a lot of questions on the topic. So let's jump right in. Our first one comes from Ann Nagahiro. She lives in the state of Washington. She reached out on Instagram. Here's the question from Ann.
For those of us who are planning on retiring in the next year or two, what would you suggest to make up the losses to our retirement funds?
Michelle, a lot of people in this position. Is there a way to make up those losses?
Not really, not in the short term. Lots of people are wondering, should I sell everything? But the fact of the matter is that's sort of trying to time the market, and you don't want to do that. And you're probably going to have years into retirement. What you really want to focus is on making sure that you have enough income to weather this storm for another year or two. So you would tap your emergency savings, maybe some bonds, but you really want to leave your portfolio alone. If it's already well diversified and you have a good retirement plan, there really isn't anything you can or should do right now.
You know, Michelle, it strikes me that depending on how old you are, this economic pinch is hitting you differently. I want to go now to one of our younger viewers. Kevin Campto reached out on Facebook. He lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, and he sent us this question.
Staying home as I continue my studies and begin a job search, I'm finding it really hard because I can't network. What advice would you have for a college student like me with limited skills entering the job market right now?
Michelle, there's so much uncertainty for college students, recent college grads. What advice do you have for Kevin?
Yeah, it's really tough. It just so happens my son is named Kevin, and he's a senior in college, and he right now is trying to get an internship for the summer. And you know what was key for him? He stayed in contact with the career office at his school. He goes to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and they have a fantastic office that is actually working to help kids or students find some internships. There's some that are actually virtual now. He's looking at a NASA internship that would be virtual. He got a job actually for the summer. Now he has to go in, so mama's a little worried about that. But he was able to land an internship. So one of the things is contact the career office at your school and just continue to put those applications out. Even though companies have pulled back, the economy will start again, and they are going to need those summer workers that they're used to.
Good luck to your Kevin, Michelle, and to Kevin Campto out there who wrote in. One last question now coming to us from Lisa Quinlivan. She's a Pilates studio owner, and she reached out to us on the NewsHour website. Michelle, here's what Lisa had to say.
I'm bleeding financially, not unemployed, yet not fully employed as I was prior to COVID. What can I do to survive when I'm under the radar of the CARES Act and its economic distribution?
Michelle, of course, that CARES Act, she's talking about the massive congressional plan to provide some kind of economic relief for America. What do you say to Lisa, who's stuck in this position now?
So there's actually two avenues you might want to pursue, both at the same time. So the CARES Act expanded unemployment for the self-employed gig workers. So she should check with her state's unemployment office to see if she qualifies. Lots of states are behind on that, but that's a possibility there for her to get some income. And you can get an extra $600 per week up until July from the CARES Act. She should also pursue a small business loan. She's self-employed, and those small business loans are also available to self-employed folks like herself. Now, that program has been plagued by issues, and obviously lots of people already know it ran out of money like right away, but there's a second funding. And so if she has a good relationship with a local bank, that she should contact them and get in line for that loan.
Great advice for people who really, really need it right now. Michelle Singletary of the Washington Post, always good to talk to you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks to all of you for your questions. You can send us more on NewsHour's Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram accounts, or on our website. That's pbs.org/newshour.